Alright, so Trump's back in the White House, and he's promising some big moves on the economy. But what do these promises really mean for our wallets? And how likely are they to actually happen? Today, I'm breaking down Trump's economic plans and giving you the real talk on what you might expect. Spoiler alert, it's not all as rosy as it sounds. So, let's start with taxes. Trump's got some bold ideas here, like eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits. That sounds amazing, right? But it's way easier said than done. Even with Republicans in control of Congress, getting this kind of law passed is a long shot. They'd need at least 60 votes in the Senate, which means getting some Democrats on board, and that's a tough sell. And here's the kicker. Experts say this move could put Social Security's finances in a worse spot. Less money coming in means the program could end up running out of funds sooner. So, even though it sounds great, I wouldn't be adjusting my financial plan around this just yet. Who benefits most from this? Higher income seniors, folks making between $63,000 and $200,000 a year. For lower income retirees who aren't paying much, if anything, in Social Security taxes right now, there's not much of a benefit. That means the tax relief mostly goes to people who probably need it the least. It's a classic case of good for headlines, but maybe not so good for everyday folks. Now let's talk tariffs. Trump loves tariffs. He's even called it his favorite word. Yeah, really. His plan is to slap a 10% tariff on all imports and go up to 60% on stuff coming in from China. Sounds like it's about protecting American jobs, right? But here's the catch, tariffs usually end up raising prices for you and me. Companies either pass those costs to consumers, or they take a hit on profits, which rarely happens because, let's face it, companies like making money. Think back to the last round of tariffs. We saw higher prices on everything from shoes to washing machines. It's basic econ 101 charge companies more to import products, and they'll charge us more to buy them. So what's the idea here? Trump says tariffs will force companies to bring jobs back to the US. But past data doesn't back that up. Most companies didn't move production to the US when tariffs went up in 2018. Why? Higher labor costs and a lack of resources here make moving production pretty unrealistic. Companies just can't make it work financially. Moving on, Trump also plans to defeat inflation. He's promising a 50% cut in energy costs and wants to open up more federal land for drilling to help bring prices down. But here's where things get complicated. US oil production is already at high levels, and even if we start drilling more, the global market is a big factor. Countries like Russia and Saudi Arabia have the power to adjust their production to keep prices up, and they're not exactly friendly competitors. So, even if Trump speeds up production, we might not see much change in prices at the pump. Housing costs are another issue on Trump's radar, and he said he wants to build homes on federally protected land. Sounds bold, but the problem is that a lot of housing regulations are controlled at the state and local level. So, without changes at those levels, this idea might not make much of a difference for most of us. And then there's the big one, immigration. Trump's proposing the largest deportation effort in US history, saying this would open up jobs and free up housing. But experts are warning this could seriously hurt our economy. A mass deportation could create a major labor shortage in industries like construction and agriculture, areas that already rely heavily on immigrant labor. Fewer workers mean higher labor costs, which could actually drive up prices in these sectors, making housing even less affordable for everyone. Finally, let's look at Trump's tax cuts. He's talked about extending the tax cuts from his first term, lowering corporate tax rates even more, and even cutting federal income taxes across the board. On paper, that sounds awesome. But here's the reality check. Experts predict these tax cuts would add about $4.1 trillion to the national deficit. That's not pocket change. Lowering corporate taxes and eliminating income taxes would mean the government has to find money somewhere else, probably through more debt, which can have long-term effects on things like inflation and interest rates. So what should we take from all this? Trump's ideas are big, they're bold, and they make for great campaign speeches. But actually pulling them off? That's a different story. There are a lot of roadblocks in Congress, and even if these changes do get through, there's no guarantee they'll play out like we're being told. If you're thinking about how all this could impact your own finances, I'd say don't jump to conclusions. policies like these take a while to show real results, if they happen at all. So, while it's good to stay informed and plan, I wouldn't be banking on any of these changes just yet. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button for more straight talk on what's going on in the economy and how it affects you. And let me know in the comments, what do you think of these proposals? Do you think they'll actually help us out? Or are they just big promises that'll never see the light of day? Let's chat about it.